Fourth quarter, 1-point game. But the real action is at the snack table. Because you didn't just mash avocados. You swirled in Philadelphia cream cheese. For a guac dip so creamy, so unexpected, it's drawing double coverage. The real MVP of game day?
So good.
It's in the bowl shaped like a sombrero. You don't follow a recipe, you Philly it whenever you Philly like it. Philadelphia cream cheese.
This is Rob Gronkowski from Dudes on Dudes. Applebee's just cooked up the ultimate option play with their new Ultimate Trio deal. You can choose from 3 of their delicious appetizers and pair them up with 3 sauces for just $14.99. Craft your perfect trio from over 80,000 different combinations in this flavor-packed plate built for one, or to share if you're generous. You can stick with the classic pairings like boneless wings and buffalo sauce, or you can spice things up and try some unexpected pairings like dipping chicken wonton tacos in our honey Dijon mustard. It's time to head to your neighborhood Applebee's or order online today. Now that's eating good in the neighborhood.
Talk about stepping up. Bang! Bang!
It's time to level up your game. Introducing the all-new ESPN app. All of ESPN, all in one place. Your home for the most live sports and the best championship moments.
The electricity is palpable.
Step up your game with no annual contract required. It's the ultimate fan experience. Level up for more on the ESPN app or at stream.espn.com. Sign up now.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Just in case you missed it, it's the top 5 sports talkers of the day. Now, it's time for Dan Barrero's Top 5 at 5. Brought to you by Gutter Helmet of Minnesota. Never clean your gutters again. Learn more at gutterhelmetmn.com.
Robert Smith will join us in about little less than 30 minutes to preview the Vikings 2025 season, get to some other things with him, some college football as well, because that's now in his wheelhouse once again. Top 5 at 5 first, though.
I hold in my hand the very first injury report for Vikings football. We will be doing this for basically the next 18, hopefully 19, hopefully 20, hopefully 21-ish weeks.
Where did you tell me the Super Bowl was this year? Indianapolis?
No, it's San Francisco,
By the way,
right?
somebody said the Star Tribune has a story on what a great weekend getaway Indianapolis, Indiana is.
You're making that up.
I thought I was, but apparently it's in there. Just saying.
Is that part of Strip Varsity?
It's probably just to get you going.
Seriously.
At this point, yeah.
Edina stories in that. They know they're going to get the clicks.
That's it.
Interesting. But the Vikings play Monday night, so their first injury report comes out today. Today's like a Wednesday. We're going to go through that whole exercise. And Christian Darrisaw did not participate. Harrison Smith, with that illness, did not participate. Xavier Scott, the kid that just made the team, the running back, has an ankle. He didn't participate either. Jalen Naylor and Andrew Van Ginkel were both full participants. So that's good news on Naylor, that he was full. I know we've got, Adam Thielen now, but that's good news. But that is the news from Egan on the Vikings side. On the Bears side, you tell me how important these guys are. Josh Blackwell, TJ Edwards, Rashawn Johnson, and Jalen Johnson. I know he's important.
Jalen is.
Limited with a calf and groin injury. Kyle Monungai, the running back that the Gophers did not have to face last year for Rutgers and still lost, he was limited. And then Dominique Robinson and Devin Duvernay were both full.
Well, let's get back to the Vikings side of it, because that's all we really care about. Because one of the reports was, Darrisaw always was going to be on sort of a staggered, maybe sort of modest schedule, that he wasn't, going to be out there necessarily every day. That may well be so. I don't know what the full story is there. I'm just telling you that if this is the approach you're going to take, or that you feel like you have to take, there should be we have no guarantees, nor should we automatically assume that Darrisaw will be out there from the first play to the last offensive play, that the Vikings need him against the Bears. I just don't think that's realistic at this point. And the same, I think, is true with Harrison Smith, who I don't think this was a scheduled off day today for him, dealing with whatever mysterious illness is that he is dealing with. So, and by the way, I need to correct the record via X. I called when I announced earlier today that Adam Thielen is going to be our weekly Viking guest. I called Thielen the newest, but also the most experienced Viking. Well, he's the most experienced offensive player on the Vikings.
Oh.
He's in year 12. I think Harrison Smith is in year 14.
That sounds right.
So for the record, somebody caught me on that, and that's 100% true. Smith has more experience, but among offensive players, Thielen is the most experienced, even though he's the newest, and he's going to join us weekly, presumably beginning sometime next week, generally on Mondays after Sunday games. Even the time, though, is maybe in flux a little bit depending on his kid's schedule as well. So we'll get to it eventually, but we're very pleased to get a guy I wasn't even know he was on the table as a possibility. And again, up until, a week and change, he wasn't even a player on the team. So it's further proof that even on the Bumper to Bumper show, things are fluid and things can change rather rapidly.
Let's give you the Micah Parsons injury update. He has not experienced any setbacks with his back injury, but still needs to clear a few hurdles before it's a given he will make his Packers debut Sunday against the Lions at Lambeau. This from Rob Domofsky, ESPN. Parsons says, I'm still ramping up. It's a process of getting ready for football, being out for 6 months, obviously going through the tightness, the soreness, but I just got plenty of faith that this is a great training staff and the coaches are slowly getting me the plays and getting me the things that I need if we decide to give me the green light out there. It's completely up to the coaches, though. One of the coaches, the coach, Matt LaFleur, says, I think he was able to do what we had planned for him today, so he's doing a good job with that. Did you see the other Parsons nugget today?
No, I did not.
That the Philadelphia Eagles tried to trade for him.
they tried to get him.
So let me give you a first take-like question. If the Eagles traded for Micah Parsons 1 year after they got Saquon Barkley, what does that say about the NFC East division and how stupid they all are to just give everyone to the Eagles? Is that a decent enough first take question?
That's actually not a bad question. I would say that's too good a question for first take myself. But yeah, the assumption would be that even Jay Jones would be loath to be as dumb as the Giants were, right? And to trade within the division. I have no idea what the Beagles might have been offering, whether it was a more tantalizing trade than ultimately giving up more good players than did the Green Bay Packers. I have absolutely no idea. I'm just fascinated because I think a lot of the betting lines now have the Packers favored to win the division, at least some of them.
Really?
I think it's been. Now, I don't know if that was recency bias, like the adrenaline when the move first took place, or that's how they're trying to get money going. I'm not exactly sure. But I did think that was a pretty interesting and not totally surprising. I mean, he's a game-changing player when he's healthy. That part's undeniable. We don't happen to need him because we got so many pass-rushing options, but nobody has been better from his position the first 4 years he's been in the league, other than Reggie White. That's it. That's the only player for the first 4 years of his career who has been as productive as, what's his name?
Micah Parsons.
Micah Parsons has been.
All right, here's your daily Twins quiz, or the new twist on the Twins quiz. I think you're going to get this one right. The pitchers tonight are Bradley and Ellard. Bradley and Ellard. Who is pitching for who? The Twins are playing the White Sox.
And it's the starters.
The starters, yes. The starting pitchers, probable pitchers.
How many game series is this? Like 8 games?
It's too many. It's too many.
Especially because we can't beat them anymore.
Bradley and Ellard are the pitchers.
I'm going to say we're starting Bradley.
Correct. Taj Bradley, who I think I actually have heard of.
Yeah.
He's been around for a minute.
Yeah.
Opposing Frazier, Ellard, and the first pitch, although everything's getting canceled right now. I'm getting Sports Engine alerts every 4 minutes about kids' activities because of the rain that's coming. No word on if the tarp is going off on Target Field right now, but it's supposed to be 6:40.
The
Twins lost yesterday.
The White Sox will be devastated because they suddenly seem to have our number in a way that we usually had their number. They came back from a 2-run deficit with 2 outs in the top of the 9th and ended up scoring 3 runs in the inning. And then we end up losing that game by a final count of 4-3. Further evidence that the Twins can go awfully low in our how low can they go contests. Lower by the day. And I got to believe if the game is somehow wedged in tonight, and I don't know how hard they're going to work for that on that, I got to believe that there may be a paid attendance of 9,000 or 10,000.
You're right.
But in the building, I got to believe we're under 1,000. No question.
My goodness.
Including the dogs.
Is it dog night again? We should just make every day dog night.
They should, actually.
Just open it up to
maybe
the
get a little bit of help.
Lastly, on the Twins, before we pause, I don't know if I had writer's block today or if so many things came to my head at once, I just couldn't organize the thoughts. So many lines will come. You're a great comedic mind. So many things come right to your head. You can't figure out what joke to use.
There's too many, is what you're saying. Yes. Too many possibilities.
So this headline from the Star Tribune, and
that's what happened to you yesterday with Glenn Mason.
Yes.
And then he ended up getting annoyed by all of it. Yeah.
And the Sweet Martha's thing a couple nights ago. When we did the Teddy Roosevelt bit.
Yes.
I'm still mad about that. It was a great Sweet Martha's line. But I was so proud of myself, I couldn't get it out.
You couldn't get it out. You were already laughing
Fallon
ahead of the joke, yeah.
But I felt like there were so many ways to go with this headline from the Star Tribune, and I didn't know how to write it. First of all, credit to the Star Tribune and any beat writer that has to find actual stories besides the game to write about a team that's this bad and this dysfunctional. How a sinker became the new popular pitch for the Twins staff. That was the headline. And I'm like, sinking ship, sinking franchise, sinking hopes, sinking dreams.
Yeah, there's a lot of options. Well, you know what that falls into?
They want to emulate the franchise, so they're sinking. I don't know. There's a way, and I just couldn't get there.
No, but what it also, I think, reminds you of is when you have absolutely nothing relevant to write about regarding this team, nothing's vital right now. There is literally nothing that matters regarding the Twins. It shows you, I think it underscores how hard you got to work to just find somewhere to go with the story. Like the big one of what we heard ago was finally Buxton successfully stole third base.
Right.
And the part that shocked me and did absolutely stun me is the fact that he never even tried to, since he got thrown out the last time, which did seem to me to strain credulity. Didn't it you too? That are you kidding? There was never even an attempt at third base. It's Byron Buxton.
I know.
Very odd. That turned. But when you got nothing, that becomes a massive story, right? You have no choice but to turn it into something bigger than it's even worth being, because the regular angles will simply not apply.
There we go. There's your 5.
By the way, we're reminded that the Eagles didn't trade for Saquon.
They signed him.
They let him. The Giants just let him go. So that's where the Giants still got ripped, understandably, but they did not. It was not a trade.
And their owner was on Hard Knocks going, basically, won't be able to live with myself if he signs with the Eagles, and then he did.
I got some text to get to, a couple of other nuggets before we prepare for Robert Smith to talk Vikings at 5:30.
It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
And you can join me, I'm Gaardsy, Monday night at Gray's Food Hall for a season kickoff watch party. We start at 7 to catch the Purple as they open the season against Chicago. Enjoy great food and your shot to win awesome prizes. All the details on our watch parties at Gray's Food Hall are at KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
This date, September 4, in 1915. 1915. Minnesota hosted its first and only 500-mile auto race at the newly opened Twin City Motor Speedway near Fort Snelling. Guy by the name of Earl Cooper won the race. You know what his cash prize was for winning it?
I'm going to guess it was like $200.
$20,000.
Wow. That's nice.
For 1915, that's good coin, is it not?
Yes.
What's that in today's money?
I'd have to Google it.
Somebody will know. Dan Minnesota reminds us that promoters, by the way, for the record, the track's location is now part of the MSP airport.
That makes sense.
Promoters had hoped for 100,000 spectators. Only 28,000 showed, just like the Beatles concert at Met Stadium, 28,000.
We were just slow to catch on to stuff.
That's the problem. The Speedway fell on hard times financially, and in December 1919, it was decided that the property would be turned into a mail airport and eventually became MSP International.
One of my favorite places in the world.
Ground was broken on the Speedway on May 8th, 1915. That's not that far before the race. They must have worked fast back in those days. A little faster than we do on the Southwest Light Rail, I guess. With Governor Winfield Hammond and Minneapolis Mayor Wallace Nye turning the first shovels of dirt. The race attracted famous drivers such as Italian Dario Resta, Wild Bob Berman, and Ralph De Palma. Most of the construction completed the week of Monday, August 23, 1915, so not that far before the race. So we had a 500-mile auto race once upon a time, but it obviously did not go well enough for it to sustain itself. That's too bad. I mean, I always like when we're more, well-rounded and have offer up, even the more esoteric sports for people. They're interested.
When was the Indianapolis Motor Speedway erected? Do you know?
I don't know. I should.
I would imagine probably before that. We were probably trying to copy them because that's the most famous one in our country, right?
Correct.
So maybe we were trying to copy them. By the way, you were right, and I was a little distracted. Someone did visit Indy, and they wrote a piece for the Star Tribune on it. I feel like
Who wrote it? Do you know? Do you know the name? Do you recognize the name?
I feel like we need to save it and do a dramatic reading at some point.
Do you think it was a bit?
Catherine Lawless for the Star Tribune. So it's almost like that's what it means when it's like been commissioned, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
About the
and
writer.
I'm going to guess she raved about the experience.
Let me just give you some adjectives. Darling, unpretentious.
There it is. Sooner or later, you're going to get it.
Truffle honey oozed out from a wide slab of cranberry walnut bread. A beautiful and delicious mess.
My goodness.
Yeah, it's thick.
To this point, to your point, 612 guy writes, "Hey, Gaardsy, do you know what city speedway did not fail?"
It's true.
So whenever they broke ground,
they had
they're
it solved.
still holding the race. It's not as big as it was.
We were trying to copy
them. Once
them.
upon a time, it was the biggest of all the races. So a good piece of Minnesota sports history that I'm sure many of you either had no idea of or have long forgotten as well. Good reporting work from our guy, the frustrated teacher who wants cell phones and cell phones and iPads out of his classroom, Dan Minnesota. Let's come back and chat with our old friend, Robert Smith. We'll talk some pro football, given he's now analyzing college football games, as he did in Bloomington, Indiana a week ago. We'll talk some college football as well. Bob Smith.
Looking for excitement? Chumba Casino is here. Play anytime, play anywhere. Play on the train, play at the store, play at home, play when you're bored. Play today for your chance to win and get daily bonuses when you log in. So what are you waiting for? Don't delay. Chumba Casino is free to play.
Experience social gameplay like never before. Go to Chumba Casino right now to play hundreds of games, including online slots, Slingo, and more. Live the Chumba life at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
This next.
Final segment of the show presented by American Pressure, commercial grade pressure washer since 1975.
It's the Bumper to Bumper show wrap.
Yeah, I am not ready for the fact that we're into football season, and that means the Thursday shows often will have us out at 6. That's why you're hearing the music that we play towards the end of a 6:30 show. I want to thank all of the Dr. Dan's Inbox contributors who are outstanding today. Good eclectic mix of subjects throughout the program from both the A section and the toy department as well. All of it will be podcastable later. We're out at 6 for Vikings programming because now the season is indeed upon us. If you have questions for Robert Smith, hit the Bradshaw and Bryant KFAN text line at 64686. By the way, Sean Salisbury, a Thursday regular this week, will join us on Friday, tomorrow, at 4, right after the prediction segment with Carl Gerbschmidt. Robert Smith now joins us via the Connecticut Water Systems hotline. Here's my opening question as we say hello once again to you. Did you spend Saturday night in Bloomington, Indiana at one of my old college, haunts, Nick's English Hut?
Did you go to the University of Indiana?
I went to Indiana University, sir. That is correct.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said the name wrong, didn't I?
Yeah, you didn't say it wrong on the broadcast. You got it right on the I don't remember you saying it wrong on the broadcast last Saturday.
I'm sure. I would guess I didn't say university on the broadcast, but no, I did not. Just went back to the hotel. I was watching the LSU game, Clemson game. So, man, it's just really exciting this time of year. And I know, a lot's been made about, overhyping of the games and stuff like that.
Yes.
But, it's really interesting now. And for me, kind of being a old guy and, get off my lawn.
Yes.
More and more, as seems to happen to, pretty much all of us. As much as I was resistant to the big changes, I think they've made it really interesting, but making it interesting for us as viewers versus what the coaches and administrators have to deal with. I guess it's the price of admission.
Is it fair to say that my Hoosiers did not leave you with the impression that they're on their way to the national championship tournament for the second consecutive year?
That is safe, very safe to say. Yeah, I think, Mendoza's. Did you like my Mendoza line? Did you hear that?
No, I didn't hear that part. I did hear. That's how I knew you did the game. Because I watched some of it live, then I had to do some errands, and then I taped it. But no, what was your Mendoza line?
So I'm barely disrespected and disappointed. I'll just start there.
Right.
Or mildly, I should say.
Mildly is better. Yeah.
Yeah, so in the open, I said, all right, I'm going to get the Captain Obvious joke out of the way. Let's talk about the Mendoza line, and I talked about the Mendoza line at Cal. So
you had to.
I was real proud of myself.
Yeah, well, that's
Mendoza line in there.
I'll remember that one for the future. Are you doing college?
You'll remember that for the next hour and a half.
Okay, maybe 10 minutes. Are you doing a game every weekend? Some weekends? What's your schedule going to be like this fall?
Yeah, it's pretty much. Yeah, it's pretty much every weekend.
Nice. That's good. I'm sure because you've done some of both, right? You've done some pro, you've done some college.
Yeah, I've done some multiple levels of pro.
Yes, that's
UFL and NFL.
That's true.
Yeah, I was doing NFL. I had done NFL 2 years in a row, and then they hired some guy. Tom Brady. Yeah, Tom Brady. They hired Tom Brady, and then that pushed everybody down
one, right?
One rung in the NFL, and there were no more rungs in the NFL.
That's unfortunate.
college.
That's unfortunate. That's very, very unfortunate. Oh, you know what? I'm glad you brought up Brady's name. I'll ask you, before we talk plenty of Bears and Vikings and some stuff I know on your agenda as well, about it was a fairly harsh rant on my part very early in the show, and it's gotten some attention online. I saw it via the old ESPN guy, Trey Wingo. And Trey Wingo was linking to, it was, I don't know which one of the ESPN talking head shows it was, but it was Stephen A., it was Danny Orlovsky, and it was Ryan Clark. And I guess the subject line, which makes
they said that Brady
Yes.
and Manning weren't generational quarterbacks.
Well, here's the first part too. The premise of the debate is Arch Manning what was the word for it, Gaardsy? Generational talent. And I'm saying, as a media guy, well, let's give it a minute. How do we even have any idea how to answer that question this early? Generally, we answer those later, but leave that aside. So, the Clark comment was, I don't think Brady, Breeze, I don't think Peyton Manning are generational talents. And I know what he thinks he's saying. He's talking about the physical part of the game. But what I don't get, Robert, is why we have in both basketball and football, I feel like so many players, ex-players, and analysts who are all about, well, what was his handle? What did he have in his bag of tricks? As opposed to, how much did he influence winning? Why can't that be a part of how we evaluate talent? I just get tired of he could break ankles in basketball. Did he help his team win? I don't. And same with football.
Yeah, and I think you're absolutely right. Like, the physical talents are the focus of a lot of these conversations. When to play the quarterback position, the processing is just so important. How quickly does somebody process it? It's not just something that you can teach. I think some people have it more than others do. Now, some players evolve, obviously. And for people looking at Lamar Jackson now, go look at the way he threw the ball when he was at Louisville. Look how he threw the ball early in the NFL. There was very legitimate and reasonable and warranted criticism of him and the way that he threw the ball. And he got a hell of a lot better. And, Monken is done all kinds of things for him, right?
Yep.
But to just focus on the physical, I think you're absolutely right. It leaves a lot out of what playing the quarterback position is. How are they leading their team? But more importantly, how quickly are they executing and how consistently are they executing? Because the analogy I use, it's like golf and marriage, right? It's not how good you are at your best; it's how bad you get at your worst that really defines whether you're successful or not. Because at the driving range, man, I'm straight down the middle a lot of times, right? And that doesn't mean that I'm going to be a good golfer. And the best at golf and the best at quarterback are at a high level consistently when it matters most.
Yeah, 100% true. And I actually think those debates and discussions are more interesting anyway, if you include, because you can still have debates within that realm.
Yeah.
Like, okay, who's the best package? Who's the best, combination of those things? So anyway, it's just.
Well, but here's another part of it, right? This is the reality of it. I worked at ESPN, not a monolith, no organization is, and I think some people are guilty of it more than others, more often than others. But some people just talk, and they just talk. They run their mouths. They don't. They clearly. And when you really have a subject matter expert on something, questioning them or providing a counterpoint, they look foolish. Yeah. And one of the things that's been happening so much, especially here over the last few weeks, with the Shedeur Sanders discussion and is Kevin Stefanski, are they basically just trying to cheat him? Are they trying to set him up for failure? It's not only wrong, but it's just a dumb thing to say. And they would not say it if he was on the set with them. right?
That's true.
So I think people on some of those shows, that's what they do. They just run their mouths to get attention because they know it gets attention, and they love it.
Yeah, that's very well said. I couldn't have said it better myself. All right, let's talk some pro football too. The Vikings there's the NFC North starting big time. You got Packers hosting the Detroit Lions on Sunday. That's a 3:25 game, and then Bears hosting the Vikings on Monday night, as you know, in a game that I'm just glad it's finally regular season football because, speaking of, we make stuff up during the preseason because you got to fill the time, and it does get a bit daunting. So as you look at what you've observed regarding the way this Vikings team has been put together, what do you think is fair, given how much they spent offseason, offensive line, defensive line, right? Doing the kinds of things you do when you think you got a chance to go someplace. What is fair to expect from the get-go from the starting quarterback, J.J. McCarthy?
Man, it's just so hard for me to tell.
Yeah,
it really is. And, so much, I'm not, not trying to top out here or just avoid the answer. You just don't what happened with Darrisaw last year, right? You get an injury like that, you get an injury along the offensive line, you just don't know. And what you also don't know is with any quarterback until they're, facing live bullets throughout the whole season, you just can't tell. And even then, when you have to play the playoff talent,
sure.
As we've seen from Lamar, one of the best players, if not the best player or most talented player, whatever, in the league right now, and he hasn't been able to get it done in the playoffs. And it's not just what's around him; he just hasn't played that well in the playoffs. And that goes back to the point originally about playing the quarterback position and what it really takes to be very good at it. And if you don't have that mental part of it and you can't carry that over to when it matters most in the playoffs, then you're just a guy that's, kind of going to be a footnote sometimes, right?
Sure.
Not like a Dan Marino that didn't win one, certainly isn't a footnote. But, you can't tell what a guy's going to be until you see it. So I've seen enough from JJ. I've seen enough in small clips, and in some of the plays in the preseason, kind of the anticipation and getting the ball out and, hard throws outside of the numbers, throwing the ball before the receiver's out of the break, really trusting it and seeming to have really good timing with his receivers. I've seen enough of that, know how tough he is for Michigan, and know that he has enough mobility to be dangerous, certainly to escape some pressure. All of the tools are there. There are just too many variables to figure out what's going to happen.
All right, let's talk running game with you, a former running back, because I do think with the two running backs the Vikings have, going out and adding Jordan Mason, they have a chance to finally, under KOC, develop a consistent, diversified running attack. But I'm trying to figure out how much of that is a mentality that you have to believe in, even if it struggles early. That too many teams, I think, they have good intentions there in a passing league, and they go, yeah, we want to establish the run too. We want to play off of that the whole bit. We want to be more physical, which is what KOC said after they lost the playoff game last year. But I still worry that, okay, if the first 6 times you run, you gain 18 yards, you can't give up on it, right? And you know about that. You ran it. You're part of that. So how important is that mentality, beyond having running backs who can do something with it, of just not abandoning it, being willing to continue to cultivate it over a period of time?
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, you have to be able to stick with the run, and you're hoping that, you're not down to a degree, and you're rarely down to that kind of degree, right? Like, we're part of the biggest comeback in NFL history. You're still running the ball sometimes, even in those stages. But I think you're absolutely right. And I think just from a mentality, and the linemen love it too, right? Like the linemen, they want to do that. it's one of the rare positions, where your job, apart from the defensive backs, part of it, your job is going backwards, right? and they love to go forwards. They love to run the football. So getting those guys consistent, and keeping them in that right mindset, I think it helps them focus on the details of the techniques that really end up being the difference. And that allows you, as a staff, to come up with schemes that look similar but are different types of plays. I mean, those are really the margins where you win. That's where you really win, is figuring out those little pieces in the run game. But if you don't have those guys doing it consistently and they aren't honing their skills, then you're not going to be able to call on those skills when you need them the most.
Do you like Mason? Have you watched him much? Any thoughts on him?
You know what? I didn't see much of him in the preseason.
Yeah, they didn't use him a lot, but I liked him with the Niners when he was healthy. I think he's a little bit more physical. He gives them, he's one of those guys who can shift gears a little bit. And one of the hits last year was they admitted, KOC admitted was, well, we ran very rarely in the red zone, and I think, and again, I'm not asking you, it's not a Woody Hayes era. I get that, but I just think, and when you factor in the quarterback, you're back to what do you want to do with a quarterback who you love, but you think might take a minute? You want to give him other options. You want to give him things that take the pressure off of him, where it's not asking him to throw, 27 yards downfield right from the get-go. And the running part, short passing, whatever the case may be, I think all of that, all those are reasons to try to stick to the plan that KOC told us in training camp. He said flat out to me and to Gaardsy the other day, early in training camp, he said, I have to call a different game than I've called before. Yeah. And that's, to me, going to tell the large story on how good McCarthy can be, how quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you obviously don't want to see a lot of it, just because of the danger of it, but his legs and his mobility, certainly down in the red zone, becomes more important. And, that's actually one of the things that came up, in our game last week, because, the number game changes down in the red zone, especially deep in the red zone, because the defenders don't have to defend so deep, so they can commit more guys to the run game defensively. And if you have a QB that can run the football, that kind of equalizes that battle, at least to a degree, right? Sure. So with the basic run and with a little bit of QB run sprinkled in, and with more physical styles of running like Jordan seems to be capable of, those are the kind of things that you want to be able to do.
Tell me a little bit about your project that you're involved in Vikings related.
I'm going to be very careful here because we're finishing some things up on the website, but I'm going to tell you something that, like, I am so excited about this. My company, Fan Huddle, it's, I say it like, we're not a company, we're a movement, and this isn't my job, this is my passion. Truly the two greatest passions in my life, science and applied science, which came first, and sports, all to help people be happier and healthier. And the big news for the Vikings fans is that we're going to be having a competition, but all people have to do is sign up to win, but you cannot start until Sunday, and that's why I wanted to be careful as well.
Certainly.
But people that log in and sign up for this, they're going to have a chance to win a trip to London. Not just win the trip to London to see the game. Check this out. They're actually going to be flying on the team plane.
Ooh, nice.
How crazy is that?
That is crazy. That's insane. That's outstanding.
But yeah, man, we'll talk more about
as it gets further along.
Specifics of it. I'm going to be up in the cities actually on Monday. I'm going to the Browns opener. They're going to have it on the scoreboard and on the Sweet TVs. The Vikings will have it on their scoreboard and Sweet TVs the following week for the game against the Falcons. But man, I'm so excited about this. Like, this is honest. This is what I was born to do. This is what I was born to do, and I think it's gonna help a lot of people.
Excellent.
So I'm excited about it.
All right, we'll talk more about it when you can get to that point. Real quick before we wrap things up here, because we're out at 6 today, 4 Vikings programming on Thursdays now during the season. The Micah Parsons move, there are people who think that changes the calculus of the division and that the Packers have become the team to beat. Is that exaggeration, or do you think there's something to that?
No, I think there is something to that. And what's really interesting is, last week I do this 33rd team call, and Mike Tannenbaum has set this up, and we have these former coaches and front office people, former players, and we get on these calls and Dean Blandino sometimes. Well, Dean actually not sometimes, pretty much every week. We'll kind of go over some of the plays from the previous week that came into question and talk through kind of what the process is. But we were talking about kind of roster construction, and they were talking about Super Bowl teams and what they looked like, Super Bowl champions and what they looked like. And you have the different levels of players. You have, blue at the top, then you have red, then you have purple, and then, like yellows and, all the way down. Sure. And you're not going to have very many below that. But the goal is to get as many blues as you can, right? Mm-hmm. And not a lot of players are blues. You're talking about, at the very level, or at the very lowest level, all conference type players, mostly, all pro type players. So you need to have a blue at quarterback. You need to have one blue wide receiver, but you need to have 2 blue people along the defensive line for the most part. And, I think with Gary and with Parsons, that's what that gives them. Now, the question is going to be, does Jordan Love play like a blue?
That's true.
Or does he play like a red or a purple? So we're going to see there. But, man, that's just – it's such a huge move, right? You got to get the quarterback. You got to pay the quarterback. You pay the guys that protect the quarterback, and you pay the guys that get after the quarterback. And he's one of those guys.
Yeah, he is. I mean, there's not any question about. We were wondering. There's a lot of talk about he might have to get his back shot up, and I'm going. Well, he seems kind of young to have to do that, but other people don't seem to be that concerned about the injury issue. But I guess we'll just let that play out.
Yeah, and I really don't know enough of the specifics of the injury, right? I know that he was laying on the table, but that may have been as much show as anything.
Yes, with him.
What a mess that was, though. Apparently the agent, wasn't even talking to Jerry Jones. And what about Dallas, man? I lived out there, and losing Luka and then losing Micah in the same, basically in 8 months?
Yeah. By the way, both 26 years old, both superstars. There's no question. That is tough on a sports fan psyche for sure. I got to believe they're taking that very hard. We will let you go because we are against the clock. Good luck on the venture. We'll talk more, I'm sure, about all of that as we get closer to it, and have fun coming back to town. Maybe we'll see you sometime next week.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And Vikings, the Vikings are going to be promoting this, I think, starting Tuesday.
Excellent.
On their social media channels and stuff. It's going to be fun. Excellent. We're going to see some videos from Victor and, a few other folks that I can't talk about right.
Perfect. Thanks, Robert. Be good. I'll talk soon.
All right. Thanks, Ed.
That is Robert Smith, former Vikings running back. Pretty enthused about this project involving ultimately a trip to London to see the Purple. Music is now because Vikings podcast and then Vikings Tailgate is going to follow us tonight immediately after this show. And then after that, it's the NFL season opener. Thursday night football here on The Fan. The Eagles hosting the Dallas Cowboys. Tomorrow is going to be heavy football. The pick segment with Gaardsy. Sean Salisbury, Thursday regular, moved this week to Friday. Ben Gessling and Lavelle. So we'll have a lot of fun tomorrow previewing the Vikings Monday night opener. Thanks for listening. Thanks indeed for watching. Thanks for texting. And we will talk to you tomorrow beginning at 3 o'clock right here on The Fan.
I think everybody's jacked up. Are you?
Where are we, America? Well, go Twins. Thank you for the airtime, and I'll talk to you soon.
Hey, it's Brian Christopher. Ready to chill this summer? You're in luck. I'm hanging out at Chumba Casino. and you're in for a treat. Chillax with hundreds of games, daily bonuses, exciting spins, and epic prizes. It's all here, always free to play. Kick back, have fun, and head to ChumbaCasino.com. Let's make this summer legendary.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See T&Cs. 21+.